I talked about it before, but I kind of want to go into a little more detail. My dad was not one for sympathy. Like, if I didn't feel good or wasn't up to going to school, I remember one time, because I hate having a sore throat. Like, I would rather be puking my guts out, sick with food poisoning, than have a sore throat. And I'd have a sore throat, and I'm like, I just don't want to go to school. And anytime I was sick, my dad would just be like, you can't stay home every time you have a sniffle. Get up and get ready. Because my dad was a byproduct of his raising. Like, he didn't miss school for nothing or nobody. He didn't miss church either. Like, you had to be sick to miss school or miss church. And he put that into everyday life because he didn't miss work due to illness. He was at work, sick or well. And here's a couple other stories. Because one time I was like sick with like a stomach thing. I told my mom, I was like, I don't feel good. Can I just stay home? So my dad heard it and he went into his spiel. You can't stay home every time you have a sniffle. And I got up and puked in the kitchen. It kind of shut him up for a while. But one time I was at the community pool. I've talked about it. And I'll admit, we were horse playing, but we weren't doing anything bad. And my ear got cut by a hose. And it bled heavily. Like, your ear bleeds a lot. And it was just like a tiny little low cut. And my parents came to pick me up. And I got a thing over my ear. Instead of saying, "Ho, are you okay? What happened?" Instead, my dad was like, "Don't get any blood on the seats." That was the first thing he said. And I think it pissed me off. He was like, "Oh, no, are you okay, son?" "No, you probably got hurt doing something stupid." Whatever, Dad. And another time, I've talked about this before, but it's like, I was out at the golf course one day, and I got too hot. I remember I drank a red Powerade and ate a Snickers, just trying to feel a little bit better, but clearly I didn't drink enough water. And he came to pick me up, and I was putting my stuff in the car. I just puked in the parking lot from heat stroke. And if you're sensing the theme here, I didn't get any sympathy from my dad. You know what he did? He needed to go to Lowe's. So he was just like, "Oh, my son just had heat stroke. I still need to go to Lowe's and get some stuff. I'm just going to leave him in the really hot car and just hope for the best. I won't leave the car on or the windows down. He can just stay in the hot car because it's his own fault." So didn't get any sympathy there either. But on the plus side, it has benefited me in that there are always posts on social media and memes about having a man cold. Yeah, I don't really do that because I was raised by my dad by himself. I mean, he didn't. You wanted to be hugged and kissed while you were sick. He was not the one to do it. So when I get sick, I try to grin and bear it, and I still go to work. Because there was another thing it ran into was, I want to go to the doctor for stuff, and he was just like, "Oh, you're just a hypochondriac needing to go to the doctor." I haven't been in 5 years. "Oh, you're a hypochondriac." So it's kind of worked against me, because there are a lot of times where I probably needed to go to the doctor, but didn't. Not saying I had a broken bone sticking out or anything like that, just like, had a cold that probably I could have got rid of quicker if I went to the doctor, but at this point, I just like avoid going at all costs. Not that I like to go, because who does? But it's kind of like ingrained in me. Well, if Dayquil doesn't cure it, or ibuprofen doesn't cure it, I'll probably just die. That's going to be the way of it, and it's going to be how it is. So, in some ways it was good, in some ways it was bad, but my dad is not a man you want to look for sympathy.